Before we begin with the demonstration, I want to do a quick introduction to using JavaScript in the Content Editor web part, since we will be using JavaScript in the Content Editor web part to create the slideshow. What are some things that you can do with JavaScript in the Content Editor web part? You can change display properties of the fields, such as disabling or hiding a field. You can also add events to the fields, such as the onChange event. And most of all, you can do things that you can do on the web pages, such as the slideshow. Before we begin, there is a difference with using JavaScript on a SharePoint site versus using JavaScript on a normal web page. If you want the JavaScript to execute immediately, you will need to add a call to the spBodyOnLoadFunctionNames.push function. This will add an onload event to the body tag on the SharePoint page. And now, how to add a slideshow to the SharePoint site. Go to the SharePoint site where you will be adding the slideshow. Select Site Actions, Edit Page. In the area where you will be adding the slideshow, click Add a Web Part. Just note that I'm just deleting one of the web parts before I add the slideshow. Scroll to the Miscellaneous section and select Content Editor Web Part. Then click OK. Then click the Open the Tool pane. Then click the Source Editor button to get the text entry dialog. Now we are going to write the JavaScript. If you have difficulty following the example on the film, go to the blog entry displayed on the film to get the source code, molimuscorner.blogspot.com, look for the post, add a slideshow to a SharePoint site using HTML, JavaScript, and the CEWP. The first step that we are going to do is add the slideshow configuration variables. The slideshow speed variable is the value is how long the picture should be displayed before going to the next picture. This value is set in milliseconds. So for 5 seconds, the value should be 5,000. The crossfade duration is how long to do the crossfade. And this value is in seconds, so if you want 3 seconds, set the value at 3. The next few lines, the definition of the array, is the list of pictures to display in the slideshow. The next few variables, t, j, and p, will be used by the function to do the slideshow. For example, j is the counter of the array. The next few statements, the definition of the array called preload, is the array that will be used with the pick array to give the appearance of the crossfade. This is the code to run the slideshow. The function is called runSlideshow. What this code does is it sets up the filter property of the image on the page. Then, it keeps track of which image to display in the array, which is the j variable. If the j variable is equal to the length of the picture array minus 1, it resets the j variable back to 0. Finally, it recursively calls itself so it can switch pictures. After defining the function, the last line should be spBodyOnLoadFunctionNames.push. Remember that this is the function that needs to be called for SharePoint to run the JavaScript right away, because what it does is the push function updates the onload event of the page's body tag. This is needed because you don't really have the ability in SharePoint to update the body tag and add an onload event, so this function will do it for you. The parameter that needs to be passed to the push function is the name of the slideshow function in quotation marks. Now in our example, the function name is runSlideshow, so you would put in runSlideshow in quotation marks. Finally, after closing the script tag, add the image object. In this example, I'm just putting the image object in a table for a look and feel. The name of the image object needs to match the references in the runSlideshow function. So since I'm looking for an object called slideshow in my function, I need to make sure that my image is named slideshow. Click Save to add after adding your code. Now at this stage you can change the look and feel of the Content Editor web part. In this example, I will be changing the title and the Chrome type. You can also do any other changes as demonstrated here if you want to, some advanced changes, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to click OK. Now I'm finished, and I'll click the Exit Edit Mode link, and voila! Here's the slideshow. If you have any questions, please visit one of the sites displayed on the screen. Mon name is Corner, mwalimuscorner.blogspot.com, is a blog containing how-to tips as well as commentary on IT topics. My Mwalimu, www.mymwalimu.org, is a site that contains labs and quizzes on IT topics. You can also leave a comment on this video with your question, and I will do my best to answer it. This is the end of the tutorial. Goodbye.